What do you wish you had known before taking your first job role? Probably not to be worried. Like if I could have gone back in time to when I first started working at Accenture when I was like 21 or whatever it was out of undergrad, I would have told myself, Chris, don't worry. Don't worry. They're not going to give you really hard stuff to do initially. Don't stress out. Don't stress out. They're going to send you through a training program anyway. And even if they don't send you to the training program, they did. Even if they don't, all you got to do is just be you. You got this far in life, just being yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Make sure when you start, Chris, I'm talking to myself now in hindsight, I want you to find, I want you to network a lot and find a bunch of mentors that can help you out. And there's this one guy, actually, shout out to him. His name is Murray Kronick, Kronick. And I was in the Ottawa office, and he mentored me. I reached out to him. He's a great guy. And because of him, I was able to transfer from the Ottawa office to the Toronto office, which was closer to all my buddies for whatever. I don't do that anymore. But I would told myself, just try to find mentors. And Chris, in the first 2 weeks of your new job, it's like the first 2 weeks of school. In the first 2 weeks of school, of high school, whatever it is, or university, it's easier to make friends. And the friends that you made in the first 2 weeks at high school or university are the friends you still have now. And so it's imperative that in the first 2 weeks in your new job, that you network a lot because you're the new kid on the block. And people will be even more willing to take meetings with you if you reach out to them. So make sure you reach out to all of them. And don't worry when you first start your first full-time job. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. They're going to start you at the bottom anyway. And for me, I remember I was worried. I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to ask me to do advanced object-oriented programming within C++ or Java or whatever it was. Actually, Java wasn't even invented then. I'm that old. But they actually had me photocopy day and night. And dude, I'm an awesome photocopier now. Really, really good. And actually, all kidding aside, but I am a good photocopier. A lot of people were pissed off my start class at Accenture. They're like, I don't get it. I went to university and they want me to do these menial tasks. And I was like, you know what, dude, that attitude sucks. And I disassociated myself with those people and hung out with positive people only. Another thing is this. If you're doing really, really entry-level stuff like photocopying, you can learn. Just read the stuff as you're photocopying it. And I had to work day and night on photocopying big RFP, request for proposal books for contracts that Accenture was trying to get with the Canadian government. And I read a lot of that stuff, and I learned a ton. I learned a ton. And another thing that I learned, I never did this, but I witnessed it a lot. A couple things. Number one, don't gossip when you're at work. People might enjoy hearing the gossip from you. Just don't do it because people won't trust you. It's like somebody that backstabs somebody else and they say it's you. They don't like a certain person or whatever it is. You can't trust that person ever because they'll do the same thing to you. They will. It's kind of like don't trust somebody that cheats on their wife because they'll cheat you as well. It's true. Other things I would have told myself along the lines of relationships is, Chris, don't ever date, and I never did, but don't ever date anybody at work. Ever, ever, ever. Unless you're 100% convinced that this is a sure thing. This is your future wife. Because what happens is, breakups can be contentious and it's distracting in the workplace. And if you are dating somebody, usually you have to tell HR anyway, human resources. But I don't recommend doing it unless you're positive that you found your soulmate. Another thing I would have told myself, and my Uncle Michael told me this, he worked at General Electric for years. He gave me some advice before I started, and my grandfather. So my Uncle Michael, he told me, Chris, don't go over anybody's head. And I don't understand what that meant. I do now. I get it. Although I have gone over people's heads sometimes. I take risks. But just be careful with that. Don't go over your boss's head. Another thing is, and he said this to me, and it was bizarre. I didn't understand at the time, but I kind of understand it now. He said, I want you when you first start just to be a nice, dumb guy. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, just kind of don't be dumb, but just observe the culture. See how things work initially. And then you can kind of be aggressive later once you understand the corporate culture. Because every culture is different, of every company, every board, everything. The cultures are always different. Just understand how the cultures work. And always make friends with the assistants and get the assistants to mentor you as well. That's right. Because they have likely been there longer than most people. And they work with people that are very senior and they know how to get stuff done. And if you seek advice from them, that they'll be incredibly flattered, and they're the best ally to have. Trust me on that. And if you're a jerk to assistants, if you're a jerk to anybody, then, that's bad. But if you're a jerk to the assistants, people are so dumb they don't realize that those assistants are going to tell their boss, which reflects poorly on you. It is what it is. It is what it is. And one last thing I got to say is this. My grandfather, my late great-grandfather, he told me, Chris, when you go to corporate parties, if you feel pressure to drink, then what you do is just get a 7-Up or a Sprite with ice in a glass and lime, and people will think it's a gin and tonic. But no, God, that was a long road down memory lane there for me. But just don't worry when you first start your first full-time job. Just be you. There's nothing worse than corporate lobotomy, and a lot of that is self-imposed. Just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. I mean, you got this far in life just being you. So you be you. And if you try to be somebody else and you're working at a big company and you start being obsequious or kissing ass, whatever, to the boss, your boss doesn't like that. You think they might, they don't. They feel uncomfortable. Like remember, I don't know if you've ever had this or what stage you're all at in your careers, but if there's two people in your company that work for you, or are more junior than you, and one sucks up to you, and the other one is just themselves, who do you like more? Who do you respect more? That's right, this person, the person that is just themselves. And if you suck up as well, what happens is your peers, they don't like you as much as well. They lose respect for you. So just be you. It's more fun working in a big company when you're just yourself. Just be you and you'll be happy. And you know what, dude? If and you got love in your heart, this will work out a lot better too. If you're happy, I can't speak today. My God, if this works, this will work well as well. So just be you.